Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. And up next, we're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens post June 1st shopping list. Do me a quick favor, hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's go. So, uh, we all know that June 1st is kind of a marker in a season where teams can cut uh, big time players and save tons of cap space. And there will be another video later on tonight, maybe come out first thing in the morning, of some of those potential candidates who may get the chopping axe, in a salary cap move. But right now, just taking a look at the guys who are available, I'm going to focus in on two positions where we have some depth questions and maybe even have need for a potential starter. Okay. And the first position is not offense, believe it or not. It's going to be at the outside linebacker slash edge rushing position. Right now, um, I believe that Odafe and Ojabo certainly have a lot of great potential. I really believe that. We saw Odafe come on in his first year, show a lot of speed, a lot of quickness, and really had a solid rookie season for a guy who was not known to be a dominant edge rusher. In fact, he didn't have the statistics coming out of college that says he was a dominant edge rusher, but the Baltimore Ravens took him at the bottom of the first round, and he's done okay. But last year it looked like he took a step back. I know there's a lot of times he was getting some double coverage. He was getting hailed on some occasion that wasn't called necessarily. But he just took a step back, and there's a lot of times he would get around the quarterback where he would not finish the play. And so we've heard a lot of buzz about Odafe this offseason, him working out, him training, him working on his craft. And so the potential is there, but potential just means question mark. That's really what potential is. You see, you can see or have an expectation that somebody does a particular thing, but whether they do it or not, that is something totally different. So when it comes to Odafe, it's a question mark. Okay. When it comes to David Ajabo, we understand what he was in college. We understand that David Ajabo was supposed to be a top 15 pick, or that was his projection, rather. He tore his Achilles at the NFL Combine. The Baltimore Ravens took him in the second round. He sat out most of the year. He played about 3 games, and we saw a flash. We saw a flash against Cincinnati Bengals where he had a strip sack fumble, which was super exciting, right? And so again, we have another question mark. David Ajabo has all the potential in the world. He could turn into be that top 15 pick. Or he could turn into just an average guy, right? I mean, because essentially this is David Ajabo's rookie year. You could chalk up the games he played last year to sort of like a preseason. Okay. And then so this is his first official year being healthy, walking into the season as a big time rotational guy. But again, that's potential, that's a question mark. So we got two question marks. Okay. When you go deeper than that, you got let's go with the young guy on the roster, the youngest guy on the roster. Let's go with Tavius Robinson. We understand he has power, speed, length to bend the edge, all those kind of things. A lot of potential. He can both play inside or he can play outside and rush the passer. But that's from a college level. He is a rookie. There is a rookie learning curve. You have to learn the speed of the game, the power of the game, the cadence of the game. So we have another question mark with our young talent at the outside linebacker position. Okay, then we got the veteran of the outside linebackers right now, and that is Tyus. Okay, we understand Tyus came off an injury in 2021 and was maybe 80% of himself last year. Didn't really see a lot of flashes from Tyus much at all last year. Saw him make a couple of plays, but nothing to really be super excited about. And so I don't know what we're gonna get from Tyus in 2023, which means even with the veteran, we have another question mark at that outside linebacker position. And so when it comes to guys who are available right now on the market, you can just call them up, bring them in, work them out, or whatever you need to do, and sign them. There's a couple of names I want to toss to you guys. I want you guys to shout back at me with, who you guys like, or if there's another name that's available. Now, again, not the guys who could be cut between now and tomorrow, but the guys who are available. So on this list, we got Justin Houston. Of course, we know Justin Houston well. He is a Baltimore Ravens free agent, 34, 35 years old, 9.5 sacks from last year, super productive for a guy his age. But I don't know how much gas he has in the tank left. See, and what I mean by that is because we have more questions at edge rush than answers, we can't expect Justin Houston to come in and pull a heavy load. We can't expect him to be the number one edge rusher and the young guys rally around him. We need the young guys or somebody to step up and be the number one edge rusher, and Justice Houston fill in the gaps as a rotational guy. So Justin Houston is a candidate. Let me toss out a name you guys have heard me mention before. That's Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd is 29, 30 years old, has played in the Los Angeles Rams system for a couple of years, still has some quickness, still has some speed, can still bend the edge. He's probably my pick of the guys because he is young, still has some youth, still has youth on his side. So Leonard Floyd is available, had a pretty good season last year, although the Rams had a down season holistically. So Leonard Floyd is out there. Jadeveon Clowney is out there. Jadeveon Clowney is a guy who had been rumored to the Baltimore Ravens probably 2 of the last 3 years or 3 of the last 4 years. A guy who's been signing 1-year deals and really a guy who's never reached his maximum potential. He has power. He can bend the edge. He can play well in the run, but he doesn't amass a lot of sacks, things of that nature. So I don't know if we just need him to come in and be a run defender. And because of his injury history, he hasn't played a full season in about 4 years. And I think at this point, as we trying to build a defense, a championship level defense, I'm not sure if he brings enough at this point in his career to sign him. Now we can get him on a $1 million deal, kind of like a veteran minimum thing. I'm cool with that, but I don't think we can invest big capital into Jadeveon Clowney. And not that he would request big capital, but I think I would put Jadeveon Clowney on the list, but I put him at the bottom. Another guy who's available is Bud Dupree. We know who Bud Dupree is. He's a guy who's been in the AFC all of his career, at least as far as I can remember. He has. We we remember Bud Dupree from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then he played for the Tennessee Titans for the last 3 or 4 years. And they released him this offseason, cap space move. He had some injuries last year, but still a guy who could be productive. So he's another guy that's on the list. And of all those guys, I'm probably going to put them in order. In my order would be Leonard Floyd, Justin Houston, Bud Dupree over Jadeveon Clowney. That would be my 4. I have heard some buzz about some other guys who could be released, but I'll do a video on that coming out tonight or in the morning of who could be on our shopping list of the potential cut candidates. All right. Another position. Also, to make sure that I'm clear, I would be really cool with them signing Leonard Floyd to come in to be the veteran pass rusher. Again, a guy who's still young and still has a lot of gas in his tank for sure. I know I've seen a lot of comments about Justin Houston being brought back, and again, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I just don't want Justin Houston to have to come back and be the number 1 edge rusher again. If that's the case, we're going to be in some trouble defensively if Houston has to come back and be that number 1 guy. Okay. Let's go to the cornerback position. That's another position where I believe we have some questions. Okay. Number 1, Brandon Stephens is going to be moving back to the safety position. At least all signs point to that, which is something I projected way back in March. So let's take Brandon Stephens off that cornerback list. And so right now, our starting corners is Marlon Humphreys and Rock Ya-Sin, which I'm very, very okay with that. Marlon Humphreys is a top 5 corner in this league, and Rock Ya-Sin is really a good cover corner. He does not need to go down and play the slot. He does not have that flexibility. to go down and do that. He is a man press cover corner, and he does really well at that. And I believe in letting people maximize their ability at the position that they certainly are mastering at this point in time. So leave Rock Ya-Sin outside, okay? But behind those two, right, there's a huge drop off. I know that Daryl Worley's lurking somewhere in the background. I know that Kevin Seymour lurks somewhere in the background, but those guys are just really good, solid veteran rotational guys. Those guys you can't really depend on to, fill in long term. Those guys who will come in, they'll fight hard and they'll battle, but those are not guys you really want to be holding down a spot long term if one of the starters are out. So when you get past those veterans, you're looking at young guys like Pepe Williams, drafted last year, JAD, Jalen Armour-Davis, drafted last year, two guys who really didn't get on the field a lot. In fact, JAD ended up in the doghouse from what I can remember because of poor play, I suppose. Pepe showed some flashes early in the preseason and got into some games in the regular season, but not sure why he didn't get much playing time as the season went on. Of course, Marcus Peters got back on the field, and so I guess, Pepe Williams wasn't really breaking into the rotation or whatever, but I know that, he's a part of that young depth. You got Kablu Kelly, who certainly has a lot of potential again, but that's question marks, right? I mean, think about what I just said. Marlon Humphrey, excuse me, and Rock Ya-Sin. We know that those are the starters at this point in time. And then when you look deeper than that, right? Got some older veterans. And when I say older veterans, neither one of those guys, Worley or Seymour, are old, but you want more quality depth. And then you got JAD, Pepe, and Kablu Kelly, which are all question marks because, again, they're 1 and 2, they're first year players or second year players. And so I think they need another veteran piece, whether that's a slot corner or whether that's another guy who can play outside. Okay, so let's start with the obvious choice of Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters has been in the news with the Baltimore Ravens for over the last week or so ish, and just recently heard that him and Lamar Jackson had got into it a little bit in a heated argument, which is what the speculation is. I don't know. I didn't check to validate the source or whatever, but they got into an argument over or disagreement, let's say it that way, over Lamar Jackson choosing not to play. That's how the article was written. But again, I don't know if that's true. I don't really know if that source was validated. But nevertheless, the truth is, Marcus Peters has been known to be contentious, to say the least. We saw a couple of times him arguing with coaches, John Harbaugh in particular. We saw him arguing with some players, that kind of thing. And he just kind of brings some fire to the game a little bit. And sometimes that fire can, anytime you got a fire, there's always unintended consequences. And so one of those unintended consequences is that he may have allowed his presence, being that vocal leader, kind of that emotions on his sleeve type player, he may have allowed that to close the door on a Baltimore Ravens return. Now, am I saying he's closed the door, that the Baltimore Ravens have closed the door? No, I'm saying that may be the case. But Marcus Peters certainly could walk through the door in a post June 1st signing, for sure. So he's first on the list. He knows the defense. He's going to be a year more healthy than he was this time last year. And anytime you can get healthy after a major injury, it's going to build more confidence. But the question is going to be, okay, will Marcus Peters be willing to play a supplemental role to Rock Ya-Sin? Because I think the Baltimore Ravens style of defense is better suited for another press corner than it is for a zone boom or bust kind of corner. I'm not knocking his skill set. Marcus Peters could potentially be a Hall of Famer based on his numbers. I don't know that, but he could potentially be. So I'm definitely not knocking him. I'm just talking about the difference in their skill set. One is a more of a zone corner, a ball hawk type, and Rock Ya-Sin is more of a steady hand, um, right place, right time, cover corner. So man-to-man corner. So we'll see. Another guy who is primarily a slot corner is Bryce Callahan, free agent from the Chargers, coming out of that Denver Broncos defense. So he knows a 3-4 scheme very well. Um, he's a really good slot corner. Has a hit injury history, and so we know that very well in Baltimore with our corners and injuries and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, I think that signing a Bryce Callahan could be a benefit. Playing that slot corner, he could help teach and mentor those younger cornerbacks, Kyle Blue, Pepe, and JAD, to play the slot. He could mentor them in doing that, maybe. I don't know. But like I said, he does know a 3-4 scheme, so that may be a potential um, signing. Do you got Anthony Brown, free agent from the not Chicago, Dallas Cowboys. They upgraded him with Stephon Gilmore, so that's no harm, no foul there. That makes sense. But he played okay at times in Dallas. But from what I can remember, Dallas has more of a 4-3 scheme. But I think Anthony Brown can play both slot and outside. Again, we're just talking about depth at this point. Those are the three guys who could potentially start for a team: Peters, Callahan, and Brown, for sure. And then the other guys who are on the street right now are just kind of rotational depth pieces. So listen, if there's a guy that you guys know about, if you guys know that somebody's on the street right now and you like what they can bring to the table, you like what they offer, the Baltimore Ravens, by all means, put that in the comment section. Let me know somebody I missed. Let me know somebody I didn't consider. So listen, I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.